Welcome to Broadcast Team Alpha, where we bring you captivating conversations that explore the limitless possibilities of the quantum realm. Thanks for joining us tonight, especially on this exhilarating journey as we delve into the depths of the unknown, pushing the boundaries of what is known and uncovering the secrets of the universe. But that's not all, guys. Do you know that we have an exclusive private membership group right here on YouTube? Our Broadcast Team Alpha co-host Augie is constantly adding exclusive videos and content that will leave you shaking your head in amazement. And as Broadcast Team Alpha continues to grow, you can find us with our friends over at the Conscious Awakening Network. And we are now on over 32 platforms and streams. We are immensely grateful. Thank you for your financial support, whether it's through the super chat function or PayPal donation at broadcastteamalpha@gmail. Your contributions enable us to get the great guests and to send out love, energy, some entertainment that hopefully resonates with the universe and your world too. So excited for our guest tonight, who is not only our friend, but a returning guest. And I see you guys lining up already for your mini reading. So Augie, please tell us about our friend Jeni.
Okay, all right. Now we're going to have some fun today because we have one of our favorite people. And normally Nori says that, but this time I'm saying it too. So yeah, I tell you folks, this is going to be so good because she has some unusual abilities. And I know because I talked to her. And for those of you that like to surf the internet at the same time you're listening, I'm going to give you her website so you can go there and enlighten yourself. It is soulworkwithjeni.com. soulworkwithjeni.com. And our lady tonight, our guest is Jeni Cousins, and she is an internationally known television host, psychic medium. She's a clairvoyant, past life Akashic records reader, and relationship coach. And she's an intuitive life coach. And she's a Canadian TV host for 4 years. That's a long time to do a TV show. She's also a sought-after radio guest and podcast guest. And guess what? For the next hour, she's with us. So welcome to the show, Jeni.
Welcome, Jeni. Yay. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm always so honored and very grateful whenever I get asked to come on to see you. I'm always so grateful. So thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Very honored.
Love having you here, Jen. So I got the big question. What the heck is going on? Okay, we got the blue moon, we had August, we got September coming in, and things seem a little, I don't know, intense. What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, like August was one of the biggest months of the entire year. So if you guys really reflect back to the month of August and see where you were then and see where you are now, like so much happened, and the energies that happened in August, it's going to be going on for a little while. Like we have 7 planets in retrograde. We had 2 super full moons, which double amplifies the energy of a normal full moon. We had the Lionsgate portal on August the 8th, which is the biggest portal of the entire year. Like I always remember, always something happens on August the 8th. So if you guys can remember, go back, because that theme is currently going on even right now. So you could see a lot of endings, sudden, unexpected things are happening. And as we have seen, a lot of fires started. However, there are man-made fires, yes. However, With the Vedic astrology, it's you got to be really careful because that energy is in Agni. I could be pronouncing that wrong. What that means is anything, even if you're lighting a barbecue, even if you're plugging in a curling iron, anything connected with fire, even the littlest things, be very careful because all it takes is one little spark and that's going to continue on for a little while yet. So it's really, really, really careful. And even we are in Mercury retrograde as well. So Mercury retrograde, of course, I always take a look at the positive effects rather than the negative effects. So Mercury retrograde, which we're still in till the 16th roughly, and then we have that going on realistically till the end of September. It starts to calm down, and it gives you that time to really restructure things, reset things, revamp things. And people from your past come back. And, people all of a sudden say, wow, my ex came back, or, this person from my past or whatever. And whenever somebody comes back during Mercury retrograde, you have to really kind of take a look at that experience with them, because certain people that come back, very karmic. So we were being shown, even throughout the summertime, different situations of ending, shocking endings with people, friends, family. It doesn't matter who it was. And you're seeing the reality. And it gives you this time to reset things, like resetting yourself, revamping what needs to be retweaked. And it's all about not jumping into something major during this time as well, like big new contracts. If you're renewing something, let's say, that's okay, right? I had a lease renewal with my place. That's pretty common. If it was like a brand new contract or a brand new something you're signing, be very, very careful. So there's a lot of healing coming to the surface as well that we are going through, and that's going to even go until the end of December.
Wow.
So you're going to find that you're going to get triggered, as I call it, certain memories from your past. And it could be when you were a childhood. There's no like certain age. And it comes to the surface on purpose because your soul wants you to heal and work through certain situations that, could have been traumatic, could have been very challenging. If it's like a death or something or an ending or anything like that, you haven't fully healed. So there's a lot of energy going on. And even right now, if you take a look at today, how many of you guys, and you got to be really honest, are freaking out right now. The fear could be really high. You could be really tired. You could be having some hot flashes, as I call it, really, really moody. And that can continue on a little bit throughout this month too, because your Kundalini energy is getting activated. So when that gets activated, it can hit your nervous system. And this is where you got to be really careful, because whenever our nervous system gets yanked, as I call it, it increases our fears. So the smallest little thing, which can really work out, you could be really freaked out and scared about. So it's really important to drink a lot more water and move your body around a little bit. However, because we are in Mercury retrograde wants you to slow down. So rather than being so rushed in August, if you take a look back, you're wanting to slow down a little bit right now. And that's really important you do that.
Yes, a good time to hurry up and do nothing, right? Just sit back a little. All right, just sit back. Yeah, I'm with you. I love it. It's so interesting.
Hurry up and do nothing. And if you don't get done with that, you can do the rest of it tomorrow. So
yes. Yeah, it's like prioritizing, looking at reality, right? Looking at reality. What's your priority, right? It's like, I know, but I have 101 things to do. I get that. We all have family or business or whatever it is that we need to balance and such. And it's like, okay, what's the priority today? What do you have to do today? And even if you start writing things down, because our minds are on overdrive as it is with this energy, and that's going to continue on because we have a lot of, not so good situations coming up. However, it's how we go about and deal with that. And that's going to go on until the end of November. This is that Uranus retrograde that brings violence, that can bring, like, the people have had enough, they want to stand up, all of those things. So it's sparking violence, it's igniting things. And this is why in the Vedic astrology, that energy with the fire, it's so easy to ignite. So even if you guys are calm and somebody could say something to you, let's say the wrong way, that can you ignite in seconds, right?
I'm thinking of something here too, that, we have Mercury retrograde and we have all the other celestial objects that has its influence on us. But we got something else in the equation also, and that is we are moving through the region of space where we are given the opportunity for an ascension into higher vibration. This got to be some influences from that ascension symptoms, or how do you relate with that connected to the celestial influences?
Yeah, and this is why I brought up the Kundalini energy, because that activates, ignites, right? So it's what's happening is your body is going through like a transformation, mind, body, and spirit, especially physically. So we all have challenges. It doesn't matter what it is. And it's really how we go about it. So let's see if we get challenged with whatever it is, at any given time. The first thing to do is, let's say the old self would have completely freaked out, had the tantrum, screamed or whatever it was. And it's like, okay, let me take that step back. Let me just kind of surrender this and trust it to my higher self and my highest source. Because we can easily go into that fear zone, and all of a sudden we start creating, we overthinking, we can attract a lot more fear to us and negativity and such like that. And this is why right now it's really important to kind of move your body around a little bit. Like, I don't watch the news, right? Somebody will say, oh, did you know that? And I'm like, I don't watch the news. Only if I have to go out during traffic time, then I'll find out where's not to go. Because it's all full of fear as where, the energy is right now, especially. Yeah. So it's like, let that go, let it go, let it go. And even if you write down what your fears are, you're gonna and be realistic. Like, it could be the smallest thing. The smallest thing. Write it down, and then just kind of sit back and really take a look at who's creating that fear of God into you. How are you all of a sudden so negative? You could have had like a really good morning, and all of a sudden turn on the news, or all of a sudden run into somebody, or get a call or a message or whatever, and that can set you off into fear zone. So what you need to do is say, okay, I was having a good morning or night or whatever it was. Why am I so unbalanced all of a sudden? What happened? So setting boundaries, and you're going to find, and I've been saying this, that a lot of, people are awakening, of course, and there's going to be more shocks coming even right now during this period, more truth getting exposed. That's going to continue on. And again, it's like, what? I can't connect with this person anymore. I want to go on a different path. Like, even myself, I've unfriended certain people, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, it's nothing against this person or that person at all. It's really reflecting back and saying, what did I learn from them? Or I'm very grateful for the time we shared together, whatever it is. Always wish the best for that person, no matter what. Reflecting the lessons learned, the good and the bad and the ugly, as I call it, and staying true to who you are, because you're more drawn to your soul tribe, people who you really resonate with. Those are your people who are going to support each other no matter what, through the good and the bad and the ugly, as I call it, right?
Yeah. And you're psychic, because I was just thinking before you said the truth coming up that Right, because we are in the age of Aquarius, right? So Pisces has fallen away. So all the murky, under the water kind of stuff is now being raised to the light during this ascension into Aquarius. So what what happens for people who don't understand what they're going through? You know, they're really
Yeah.
uncomfortable or not willing to look at what's going on. How do you, in a reading, how do you help coach them, Jen?
Well, I mean, the first thing I'll do is I'll read into their level of consciousness to see where they're at, first of all, right? Because, you know, like I'm not going to talk to somebody that, you know, in an esoteric tongue, let's say, if somebody's just learning about whatever, because I really want to help that person and I give them my insights into what I see. And not only just that, I'll tell you why this is happening, how to resolve this situation as well, and really give you a lot of details of, okay, this person, oh, Jeni, I've just met my soulmate, you know, I might totally see that differently. However, what I will do is I'm like, okay, this is this person. They've come back from your past life. This is who you were in a past life with them. This is the reason they've come back. And it's up to you to see if you would like to, you know, connect with them again, especially right now with Mercury retrograde, you know, and then I'll leave it up to you to make that decision. And you can't judge anybody. You can't do that because we all have our own footprints, and you really have to take a look at, what am I doing right now? What is your soul's next chapter? Create a vision board, start writing things down. I mean, even, you know, during the challenging times, your soul shows you different things, and it's like, okay, how am I going to change that? How am I going to take a look at that challenge and turn it into a positive? That's what I do to get me through that, right? We all get tested, and it's how we deal with that. And write it on your vision board, what you want to change. Be very specific, because then the universe will start helping you, that you'll start seeing these signs, what you want, but you have to be specific, because anybody can manifest things, and it'd be like, yeah, I manifested this person or this or this or that. And then they're like, oh, but they don't speak English, let's say, or they live across the other side of the world. And it's like, that's why you have to be specific, you know?
Absolutely. That's so important. And, you know, the clarity that's derived, I love what you're saying, the clarity that's derived from the vision board is just, I mean, absolutely priceless. Because when you're flipping through a magazine, or you happen to see something somewhere, and, an advertisement or whatever, and you put it on your vision board, there's more behind it in your subconscious mind than just that initial thought that you're having about it. Right. So that clarity, especially right now, can be such a gift.
Yeah, because especially right now with so much fear in the world, you know, I've had people say, well, I'm not going to go out and travel here. I'm not going to go moving right now. I'm not going to, whatever it is. And I'd be like, okay, why not? They're like, well, did you not hear the news? How all of a sudden all of this is happening? It puts the fear of God into that person. So they stop. And when we go into that fear zone, it creates blockages. So, and it can go on the other direction, right? So if you take a look at, this is what I'm working on, this is what I'm planning, whatever it is, right? And then all of a sudden you get that message or call, or you watch the news or whatever it is, and then you're like, well, I can't work on that project now, or I can't move here, or all of those fears comes in, where your soul's destiny, it's pre-planned anyways before we're here. And it's like, still walk your soul's footprints wherever it is. Like, don't go bungee jumping if the plane has engine troubles, right? Or it's like balancing things out and being realistically. But it's like I am working on so many different things right now, and I'm like, I'm not looking at the roadblocks, because I'm like, okay, I still want to do this, I still want to do that. But it's like, I'm not looking at, oh my God, I'm just working on it. And then, you know, as we get be retweaking things in between hand, right? That's a part of life no matter what happens. And I'm like, okay, well, if there's that roadblock there right now for me, it's not the right time.
Yes.
Maybe that's not my direction. So spirit has a tendency to step in and say, okay, we're giving you the signs that none of this is working out for you, but I want that. And it's like, maybe that's not the right timing for you. Maybe that direction you want to go with, like, if it's work, if it's to move, if it's with relationship, like whatever it is, pay attention, really pay attention. Oh, but the fears. So you're not going to think clear because you're in that fear zone.
Yes.
So
in the mastermind last night, we were talking about, or maybe it was Sunday, we were talking about the energy that we put out that accompanies what we say we want. We say that we want something, but a quote that I've recently quoted from Monk Tzu, the universe bestows upon us what we're prepared for. And we might not know that we're not quite prepared for that yet. And then the universe is going to give us this. And you're like, wait a minute, what is this? So we have to be in that willingness to observe what comes, right? And then go, okay, so that's not quite, the mark that I wanted to hit. What about me? What about my energy? What about my energy in this space and time and moment, needs to be shifted in order for that truly to come into alignment.
Yeah. Because if you take a look at certain things, like if I get pushed, let's say, like if somebody tries to push me with something or tries to do something, what I do is I immediately like acknowledge that, and I go in the complete opposite direction. I'm like, you know what? Thank you for showing me that, because that's not what I want anymore. And it will bring out that warrior within me, as I call it. And I'll go the other direction and people will freak out. Like I know people have already seen it and already feeling it because I've let a lot of people go, and it's not, them, I'm just on a different path. But so that's with me. Somebody pushes me, I go higher. I gravitate higher. And it's like you're not going to get up there because I'm on a different energy than where you're at. So that's me. That, I've always been like that, right? It's not easy to do, but you get into that certain degree where it's like, you know what, I'm done. That's not my route. I'm going this route now. I don't want to be where that is anymore. I'm not owning that. I'm on a different journey, surrendering it to spirit and so on. Because if you look at it, even if there's a disaster, let's say, and you're like, okay, I have to surrender it, I got no choice, right? You'll see that things will work out regardless of what. And then it'll put you where you're supposed to be.
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely.
I know we are getting ready to do, Jenny is getting ready to do some readings here in the second half hour. And so don't go anywhere because that's going to be fun. But I have a question for you, and that is that since everybody alive these days know we are going to insecure times, is there you touched on this in general terms, is there any one specific thing that people should be concerned about and keep up front in order to keep themselves mentally and physically able to go through all this?
Stop watching the news.
Yeah.
Number one, stop watching the news. Number one, because there's no real leadership. There isn't. That's why I always call so-called leaders, because there is no real leadership. When we get wrapped up in the negativity and the fears, then that's what I mean. Like if you're having a good morning, having a coffee, and then all of a sudden you get a message, and that can throw off your day, that can throw off your project, that can throw off your path, and so on and so on and so on. And then you're stopped because you're in that mind of fear. So that's where so-called leadership wants you to be. So this is why it's really important to try, it's the balance, to distance away from negativity, distance away from fear, because you're going to find that no matter what is going on, because there's been more changes now in our planet than there has been in over 10,000 years.
Mm-hmm.
I hear so many different things all the time, like even just to give you just an example without going into details. I have certain clients on an island surrounded by water. And I was talking to somebody recently, and she's very intuitive. And she says, you know what, Jeni, I've seen this for years, and I keep feeling it. And my family, ancestral family, they're all there. We are seeing like whales. We are seeing like all of these things happening like that are not normal, and they're so close to shore, and they're in droves. Like, and she's like, I'm feeling very unshaky. I'm feeling, and our family are we going to be okay? So our animals, I just call even whales animals. For me, animal is an animal. It doesn't matter if it's an ant or a dinosaur, right?
Yeah.
So, they're very sensitive. They can feel energy. They can see, and there's so much energy that's going on with the waters right now. I've been talking about this for a long time. And our animals are trying to speak out. Our animals are trying to give you signs that there's a lot of different changes going on with our water. There's a lot of different changes going on with that, and to be prepared. So it's, I would be also eating more organic food if possible. There's so much going on with that as well. Right. And it gives you that opportunity, especially even right now, our bodies are changing. The Kundalini's kicked in. You might find that if you were like, let's say, a meat eater, you're not drawn to meat anymore. You could be a vegan or all of a sudden drawn to meat. Your body is shifting because as we're born, in a Vedic astrology, I love Vedic astrology, right? What your hair color is going to be, your voice, the sound of your voice, and if you're going to be a vegetarian or a meat eater, that's why you can't judge anybody, right? Yeah. So it's like just trying to balance you. It's like, I know, but I was taught I had to do this, and that. And I'm like, I understand. However, take a step back. I want you to have some space and time alone. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? Yeah, but the fear, the all, oh my God. Let that, oh my God, go away and really take a step back and really focus on you. I want to be a ballerina, but right now I'm a janitor. Who cares? There's no such thing as age, time and space, right?
Go back
so it's letting that fear go out of anything. There's so much of it. I hear stuff and I'm like, I didn't know that, right? There is a huge fire down my street, like half a block. I heard 100 sirens and I'm like, oh, whatever. I just continued with my work. And then like 3 blocks of people were outside and I'm like, no, sorry, no idea. I got to go. I ignored it and I went on my way.
And Jen, I think we could really take a lesson from nature and from the animals, and be like the dolphins, live in our kind of nestle in right now and really live close together in our community, in our pod, and like the wolf pack, really start to press into each other and support each other and love each other and collaborate, right?
Yeah.
Compassion.
That's the soul tribe.
Yeah.
That's the soul tribe. And that's why it's like there's certain people we all have soul contracts with, and there's certain people it's like, I just don't connect with that person anymore. And it can make you feel really sad because it's like, well, that was like a really good friend or a best friend or whatever it was. And you'll get sad because it's like, I don't connect with this person or they did this or whatever it is. And that's hard to deal with. And that's why it's to take that, like time for you and see where you're at, because you're on a different journey than that person. And it's like, okay, I have to be with people that support me in a positive way and accept me for who I am.
Exactly.
you know,
Exactly.
rather
So,
than hearing the da 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 da. And it's like, I have no time for that.
right. Instead of hearing the drums beating in the distance, right? Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 Yeah. It's like,
So
no, no.
there's so many people lining up for a reading. So everybody stand by. I'm going to uh, go back to the beginning. Jenny, thank you so much for doing this. Let me say that in
Oh,
advance.
oh,
In
I'm
advance.
always honored.
Yeah, yeah. And let's see. Okay. So we have Linda. She is Aquarius and just a general reading. She does not have a specific question.
It's better to ask a specific question.
Is
You know, a
it?
specific question. Yeah, because a general
Okay. Well,
reading could go
okay.
anywhere, right?
Okay. So
And I might say something she might not like.
okay, then I'm
So,
going to go back to her specific question. She
yeah,
kind
a
of
specific question. Yeah.
yeah, she kind of recanted it for general, but I'm going to go back to that. So her question is, should I think about moving houses soon, or should I stay put?
You know, what I would do right now, okay, so even right now, by the way, no sudden decisions, okay, because the energy right now is there's a lot of fear, especially with this Kundalini activations and such like that. And it's like, don't make no big, huge decisions right now during Mercury retrograde either. So, what I would do is start writing down, okay, where am I drawn to go? Where am I drawn to be? And so on. I do see a move coming for her, not immediately though. And she might even find that, you know, I'm seeing a lot of lush trees, like a lot of lush trees. I'm seeing the water in the distance. Um, you know, there is a water in the distance, but it's almost like the water is over there. And she's like, no, I want to be more over this way.
Okay.
You know, get myself more grounded, because if I want to go to the water, let's say, I can go to the water. I can, you know, one way or the other. So
Yeah.
this is why it's like up and down right now with Aquarius, of course, the water sign, you're drawn to water, and, you know, even more, right?
Yeah.
But I'm just seeing more like a little ways from the water, because I'm seeing this really cool place, by the way. I got to say it as I see it, right? So I never know what comes through from spirit.
Ooh.
So it's like I'm seeing this really cool place, as I call it. I mean, I would be all over that myself. It reminds me of one of these kind of places that has a lot of character. It's like a little older, and it's something that, you know, you could put up tie-dyed curtains, let's say, you know, more her energy and style in this place where I would walk in, I'm going to be like, oh my God, this is so cool. I love it. So
Love it.
don't be in any rush. I do see that move coming. So just start writing down really pinpoints right now where you want to be. Because also too, in this place, I keep hearing, I hear dolphins with her. I'm seeing painting for some reason, something creative with her hands as well. That's gonna, I don't know if she's getting these pre-signs now, but I'm seeing her being very creative with her hands. So if it's paintbrushes too, I'm seeing studying as well, expansion. But dolphins, I'm hearing dolphins.
I love it. I love it. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I'm loving that. I'm loving that. Yeah.
One of our friends and family, Margaret, and Margaret is a Gemini. Margaret, do you have a specific question, love? We'll come back to her.
Yeah, a specific
Natalie,
question.
yeah, so yeah. Natalie, I need to know your astrological sign, please. Let's see.
Does she have a question there?
Yes. So Natalie's question is, why am I having such dental issues this year?
Okay, so your teeth represent anger. So what's really important, by the way, is this is where you got to get it real. You got to look within, and whenever we look within, we can see things that we're like, okay, I don't want to go there, right? However, it's really important we do. So when you're taking a look back at why are you angry? What are you angry at? Because that can go right into your mouth, into your teeth. How are you communicating as well with others? You know, is somebody walking over you, or are you, you know, the one kind of trying to force or control certain situations? So I'm hearing that things are getting restructured physically. You know how I kept mentioning how our body, you know, like right now with like our the way we eat, our health, and so many different things is changing even now, and it has been on. I've talked about that in my YouTube Cosmic Weekly Vibes videos. So everything is getting restructured right now, because you might find that when all of this work is done, you very well might even want to be taking a move. And I don't know why I'm hearing this. I don't know if it's connected, but I heard literally like New York. I don't know why. There's NW. NW, or NY. So that's what I'm saying. New York. It might not be, but I'm going to say that.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So she needs to write down and be realistic what she's angry at, even if it's like of somebody who has passed on.
Ah, good point.
Anything, write it down, because when we start writing things down physically, that's right in front of us. And also it releases what you're stuck in your mind automatically onto paper.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So Margaret has clarified. Thank you so much for that, Jen. Margaret has clarified she's a Gemini. Am I going to buy land for my home and my rescue?
You know, I keep on hearing, like, again, no rushing. I keep on seeing, I do see the move. I do see a bigger space coming for you. And I'm also hearing towards the end of December into the early new year as well. And be very careful where you want to buy and where you want this land. Because I just kind of feel where you're looking at certain land, it would be worth to see what energy's been there before. Because like I've done clearings, I do clearings, and even if somebody wants to build a property on land, there could be some energy on that land that is not going to work with you, especially when it's connected with animals. So it's really important that whenever you're looking to see how you're feeling and be realistically, if you're feeling that something doesn't feel right, really pay attention to that. I don't see like huge land. I'm seeing more of a property. It's more secluded, like off the road type thing. If I'm driving down like the dirt road, it's like you take this road here and it's more secluded. And that can get really popular, by the way, too.
Beautiful.
So
beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Jen. Thank you.
I see there is quite a few people that is giving us their name and their sign, but they should add a question to it, shouldn't they?
Yeah, a specific question. Sometimes I'll just automatically get information anyways, but it's better to ask a question, because then you'll get your question that is a worry or a concern or you need clarity on. And sometimes we just need those confirmations, right? It's like, you know, I want to do this or that, but I don't know. Sometimes we need that confirmation to be like, yeah, you are on the right path, or, you know, I don't know about this person, like whatever it is, right? So even the simplest question can take me elsewhere.
Yeah. And I see people are now clarifying their questions, which is good. And, you know, guys, stay for the rest of the readings, because sometimes there are little pearls of wisdom that show up in other people's readings that are aha moments for you, right? So Christopher is a Leo, and he would like to know, how will my career go the rest of this year?
Leadership, you know, right away, I kept on hearing leadership with him. And it's really important for him to set boundaries, because, you know, he's a multitasker. He's getting things going and everything like that. And it's really important for you to really prioritize yourself right now. I know, but I have friends and family. I get that. I understand. We all do or whatever. However, you got to really put this focus and energy onto yourself, and don't push yourself constantly every single day, because you're going to find you're really going to start to burn out even more and more and more. You got to balance that a little bit better. But I'm hearing leadership, and I'm also hearing that even when you start hearing that, I'd kind of like to do this or that, write that down, because I'm also seeing that there's going to be also something on the side that's going to be opening up for you as well, because I'm seeing money coming in, like extra money from another source of somehow.
Beautiful.
But
Beautiful.
Leadership, like highlight leadership on that.
I love that. I love it.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Especially within 2 years. Sorry. Especially within the next 2 years for him. If you really focus on yourself, it's the balance. It's the balance. Block out time during the day whenever you want to work on something that's for you. You're going to see that's going to open up, really open up.
Yes, beautiful. Thank you. Mary Pat is a Pisces and is wondering, when is the best time to sell the car?
Anytime, really. Like right now, selling it during Mercury retrograde can get a little bit icky, but you got to be realistic. Okay, so I get that. Believe me, I get that. If you know that there's a lot of issues with your vehicle and somebody comes to buy it, be honest, right? Because that will come back on you. It really will. Right? Like if I had a vehicle, long story short, when I moved back from Ireland, my Wolfhound van, as I called it, and after my Wolfhound passed, my van started to go down. I donated it. I never sold it. I donated it to an organization. And they took kids off the street and start training them to be mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
So I donated it, right? So just be really honest with that. I do see you selling. I do see that you selling it. Of course, no matter what the price is, people are going to go down, of course, as well. So just kind of be mindful with that. But I do see you selling it. You're doing the right thing. Definitely doing the right thing with that. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Creativity, I'm hearing more. Bring more creativity with your other work too, by the way.
Creativity is everything. Helen is an Aries, and she wants to know, why do I see my home address everywhere? Interesting.
Well, that's your guides telling you to really pay attention to those numbers. So whenever we're seeing certain numbers coming up, especially even right now, like 77, 111, 222, just, different things like that, automatically, if you can pause and look at where your mind is. So if you're like thinking, oh my gosh, I'm really fearful, or if you're in a negative mindset or whatever it is, that's your guides trying to get your attention to really pay attention to where your thoughts are. Let the negativity go and stay in the positive realm, and really pay attention to those where you are, where your home is. How are you feeling where you're living? Getting grounded as well, I'm hearing. So, there's different energies to the numbers as well. Like I have a specific number I always see, and it's not like a 111 type thing. Everywhere I go, I see this number and I'm like, wow, there's that big meaning again.
Yes. Yes. And David, will you do me a favor? David, retype your question. I can't seem to locate it. Let's see. So Derek is an Aquarian, and he would like to know when he will have his stent replaced.
I see 3 for some reason. The number 3 I heard right away. It very well could be within 3 months, 3 weeks, but I kept on seeing 3 for him. And, right now there's going to be a lot of activations, as I mentioned, in the body and such like that. And it's really important, especially to really, if you're in an environment or talking to people that are really negative, it's really important to try to do your best not to interact with that and distance away from it. I know it's not always easy, of course, right? Because that'll activate things, and you don't want that. You don't want that right now. It's like that heart chakra is opening up even more for you to really pay attention, and really reflect back. I know what you have been doing, like your eyes have opened, like all of us really. Really pay attention to that. Don't push it. Don't force it. If all of a sudden, let's say, if you get a call tomorrow, because Mercury retrograde is a really good time for health. If it's like, yeah, I'm going in to get surgery during Mercury retrograde, or I need to change my health, Mercury retrograde, it's a good time to do that. Like if there's surgeries on the new moons or full moons, that's a little different story. So yeah, just really kind of distance away as much as you can. 3 to 4, but I'm seeing the number 3 strong, and 333 is like ascended masters, by the way, too.
Beautiful. Yeah. That's nice. Yeah. Beautiful. David is an Aquarian. Thank you so much for that, Jen. David is an Aquarian. He wants to know what is happening with my exam results.
He's got this very intellectual energy with him, right? And when you're working on and following and really putting your energy into your exams and following your passions, you're going to do really well. Like, it's almost like there's this really like scientific energy about him. So that's that intelligence. So you should do fine on your exam, right? As long as we're focusing on it. And this is what I mean. Like, we have to focus on ourselves. We have to block out certain times to be able to do this, to do that, and to make something happen, or else it won't happen. So it'll be good. Things are going to open up even more. I'm seeing more exams. I'm seeing more really gravitate towards new things, new studies that you're drawn to. Because I keep on hearing quantum leap for him, like quantum leaps, which is really good, right?
That's amazing. I love that. I love that. Yeah, and I think he's been waiting on exam results that for some reason have not come.
Delays. Mercury retrograde too, by the way, brings delays. So, try not. It's also too, which is really important, is I've been sending a ton of messages for different things, and I'm like, oh my God, during Mercury retrograde season, whenever you send a message, make sure that you read again who it's going to, make sure that whatever you're writing, you got the right dates and the right times in, and reread your message over a couple of times, who you're sending it to first before actually sending it. And even the other person might not even receive it, or it could be delayed a couple of days, or it could, it can go missing. So
good point. And just for confirmation, because you're so spot on, Jen, David said they're already 2 days late, and it's his master's degree in science, his finals.
There you go. So there's that scientific. How would I know that, right?
You're spot on. All right. Rachel is a Scorpio, and she would like to know, is there any message about my life that they want to say right now? Am I at the right path?
I keep on hearing, you are on the right path. You're in that path of self-discovery. I'm hearing you've been in this transformation for a while. And again, I keep on hearing, tune into your own soul of what you want to do, because there's too many people around you. This direction I'm seeing you going into, you can be really, really successful with it. I also see you're going to be studying and learning something new with that too, and expanding that. And think big, think really big, take more risks as well. And most importantly, with your ideas, for anybody anyways, I learned this the hard way, believe me. Whatever ideas you have with your creativity, keep to yourself. So if somebody asks me, Jeni, what are you working on? Oh, I've got things on the go. Like what? Oh, I've got a whole mess of things on the go.
Yeah.
That's it. That's
Exactly.
it. Believe me, I've learned the hard way. So I keep quiet. And it's like when something's done, okay, there it is. You can go see it if you want.
Yeah.
Very important. But she is on the right path. But don't have that person, could be a male energy, somebody that could kind of pull you away in a different direction. Be really careful.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, we all have stuff we have to learn anyways.
Yeah.
You know, that's part of life and such. And that's why it's important to reflect.
So what are you working on? Oh my God, it's so much. I need a couple hours to tell you. Gotta run. Gotta go.
Yeah. I've had that. Yeah, I could write a book on that actually. And I mean, like whenever I get asked, let's say, it takes me right back to, you know, that moment, you know, and that went a whole different direction. So it's like learning lessons, no matter how painful they are. It's a blessing because then you're like, you know what? I learned that. I'm not going to be doing that again. And if you didn't go through that, you might not know. You might not realize it. And then you're like, I can't believe I told something to somebody. He stole my idea, completely stole my, it's like if I gave you my manuscript, right, for my film, and you trusted that person, they read it and they went out and they created that same story and they took credit for it.
Yes. Einsgesha, I don't think I'm saying that right. Can you formulate a specific question? Because she just said that she's Aquarius, her son is Aquarius, and her husband is Pisces. So if you have a specific question, please just type it in the chat. That would be great. So,
yeah.
Right
is
now,
is it IANS? How do you spell it? First name?
It's EINZGEISHA. Eisengesha.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Specific question. Yeah. So, you know, but like the bottom line is, right, is, you know, even when we're like, oh my God, am I on the right path? Am I going to screw this up? Am I like, do I do this or I do that? Sometimes you have to do that in order to see if it's going to work with you or for you or work out completely, right? Sometimes we're like, yeah, this actually feels right. I just feel that this is what I need to do right now. And it could crash down really quick, like really quick. And then you're like, I can't believe this happened. And this is part of your journey to put you to where you're supposed to be, you know, and it can get really, really, really painful. And this is why, like this year, it's the universal 7 year. So it's all about, it's about the spiritual world, and it's bringing you closer to where you're supposed to be, your passions. So it's like whenever you hear that little voice saying, you know, you got to do this or you got to get that going. Like I literally saw a microphone going on for a little while with me, and I knew what that was about. And I'm like, okay, I get it. I'm really now all of a sudden drawn to start this and do that. And that's what I did. And I'm like, yeah. So when you're on that path, it opens up new doors for you with different connections and people and such like that, where you're supposed to be, because then you're going to meet more of your soul tribe, or new doors of opportunities are going to open up for you, and so on and so on. Yes. So, and if you're going to be like, oh my God, that was a disaster, don't worry about it. What did you learn from that?
Yeah.
What was the wisdom from it?
So she has, forgive me for calling you she, has clarified her question. She is Aquarius and wants to know, is moving to the mountains, Pollock Pines, from Sacramento, California, the right choice? Ooh.
No. I really loudly heard no. I don't mean to burst your bubble, but even as you were talking and you said the word mountains, no. Don't rush into that. This is what I mean. You know how I just said, you know, sometimes we have to go a different path or to do something, and then we're like, why did I do that? Right? Sometimes we have to do that. Moving towards that direction, really, really pay attention to whenever you kind of stall. It's like if I was talking, I'm moving to the mountains, let's say. And then whenever I said it again, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. And then all of a sudden you start seeing these little signs of, well, I was going to go and move to the mountains then, but all of a sudden all of these other little things are coming up. Like those are your signs from the spirit world and your soul saying that might not be the right time or the right direction for you. I do see a move for you, but don't rush it, because you're going to be really surprised, especially within a year, if not sooner. You could find you're going in a different direction. Could be, and you could drive to the mountains, but it's not going to be a 10-minute drive. So don't rush that. Really important. It was just like right away.
Jen.
Something with boulders or something. I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So we only have a few minutes left. Jeni, thank you so much. Please tell everybody how to get in touch with you, how to find your amazing work. And Jen, you're the real deal.
Oh, well, thank you. I mean, I'm all over social media, like on all these platforms. So if you bring up Jeni Cousins, Jeni Cousins, you can also bring up Jeni G, Jeni Ji. You can check out my website, soulworkwithjeni.com. And I have, I'm interviewing again. That's one of the things that I heard Spirit start saying to me for quite some time. You can check out my show podcast, Soul to Soul Connections with Jeni G. I'm on 18 platforms right now, and that's growing and expanding. And I also interviewed Augie, for those of you who'd like to see that. And Nori's soon coming on as well. So pay attention to the guests. There's a lot of exciting guests. I've got bookings going right up till next year as well, for certain guests coming on the show. And book a reading with me. Get some clarity. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Really important. Jeni G. Cousins. You'll get a lot of content on that. So I'm out there. Facebook, Twitter, everywhere, like literally everywhere. Just Google my name, you'll find me.
And we so appreciate you, Jen. So appreciate your gifts and your talents and how you're sharing them with the world. Thank you so much. So don't forget, guys, you can catch us over at Conscious Awakening Network with our friends over there. Jenny's over there too. We're all having a little party over there. We got new things coming up. We also have the Friday show, which is the Quantum Wellbeing Show. That's at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We have the new Paranormal Show, which is Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern. And of course, Tuesday, right here, 8 p.m. Augie, I saw you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I was just here to get to, and this is my favorite question, and I've got to ask you, Jeni. If you could talk to the whole world and the world is listening, what would you tell them?
I would tell everybody it's really important to let go of the struggle of fear, like that, out of anything. Just release it. Try to surrender everything as best as you can. Keep working towards your goals. Keep working towards your dreams. Don't let the so-called energy of the world, try to stop you from walking your path. And it's really important to be authentic. Just be yourself. Because if you try to be somebody else, because you're like, wow, I want to be that and that you're not going to get far, because that's not your soul's footprints. When you're authentic and walking your path that resonates with you, you're going to find that new doors are going to open up for you, because you're going to be on that vibrational frequency that's aligned within your soul. So don't worry about anybody else does. That's their journey whatsoever. Stay true to you. because your soul tribe, you'll just automatically find them because you're authentic and you're being yourself.
Beautiful.
Yep. Just like let them do them and let us do us and keep the peace between the two of us so we don't go to war and we don't create. We have enough of that over in Eastern Europe right now. So we'll just.
Yeah.
A happy thing
Yeah.
to end.
Take it easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. I mean, there's a
All
world
right,
going on.
guys.
It's a spiritual world. So,
Yeah. Yeah. So much love, everybody. Much love. Really good energy. Jen, thank you. It's always so uplifting to be here with you. Thanks, Augie. Thanks, Mac. And thanks, everybody who joined us or when you're watching this on the replay. We'll see you at the next show. Take care, everybody.
thank
Bye.
you.